All right, good morning traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to go through the live order flow analysis using Bookmap and understand the auction process and where price might be going next, and look for some trading opportunities. It is in demo only, and it is not a trade following room or shadowing room. It is only for educational purposes only. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so I covered this yesterday. We have the blue jacket competition. The update here is that the has been launched yesterday or last week, I think. But you can still take a screenshot of this and partake in it. It is integrated within the Bookmap Academy. Just go to our Discord room in Bookmap, the Bookmap Academy chat room. Post content, and then you'll use hashtag BJC for blue jacket competition, and that's it. Okay, you can get 3 months of Bookmap for free with data. Okay, so it's a really nice offering. All right, so if you want to partake in the competition. All right, let's jump into the market. Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. Looking at the S&P E-mini here. What do we see? And we're going to go through our top-down approach in here. Okay, 9:30 cash open. You can see that well, we kind of dribbled up higher over at least the data I have here for the overnight, and a nice little kind of 8:30 boost here due to some data, but up into high liquidity here around this 51.20. It's dropped off since 9:30 cash open, dropped off, but we came right back and retested the open here. All right, so yesterday was a big down day, and today though, we'll look at our technical levels in just a minute, but we're going to start with our top-down approach, and that would be our fundamentals, our bigger picture. What's the news? What's driving the market here? The catalysts behind the price movement. Some of it is technical, but it is the fundamentals that are the big movers here. So what are these fundamentals, and what are these things moving that market? All right, so let's take a look here. Yeah, so we just had, actually, what did we have just recently? We had Canadian CPI news. Let's see. Yeah, we had not much really. It was just housing starts, and we do have a speaker at 9, but yeah, not too much. Building permits, housing starts, etc. It's not really that important or a big driver at this time in the market. All right, we had our retail sales. We saw the drop yesterday. Later this week, we do have other speakers, and just kind of bigger picture news. And the reason that we're going over the bigger picture news is to understand what the market thinks now before those events unfold. This is really important because the market is forward-looking always. So it is preparing for what it thinks is going to be the result of the news. That's why a lot of times when you see the news event unfold, you're there, and you see something wild in terms of the numbers, way out of the expectations and the range, but the market has already priced that in. Okay, over the last like 3 or 4 days. So it is already anticipating it to be a bad number. It's a horrible number, and the market barely moves. All right, so it is forward looking. Now, it's when these shocks occur out of the blue that creates uncertainty. and that can be a really nice catalyst for moving the market. All right, so yeah, just later in the week, it's kind of weak here, but we do have Fed chairman speaking later today, so that'll be important. This in the afternoon, 1:15 p.m. Is what it looks like here. So the market might chop around a little bit until then, and then we'll see some moves. All right, so unemployment claims on Thursday. Just bigger picture stuff here. Technicals, bigger picture technicals, and then we'll look at the order flow. All right, so we're not missing much right now. You can see that we've dropped, we came back up, and it's kind of going back and forth in here. It is very range bound in here at the moment. Okay, look at the volume, look at the price movements here. They're kind of equal. Okay, so we're not really seeing too much at the moment. In fact, it looks, if I were to bet at the moment here, we do see some buying coming back in. It looks like it wants to test back up to this 104 and maybe 110 area here. Okay, so here they come. So we'll come back and revisit that in a moment. Yeah, you can see the retest into this liquidity here, higher level of liquidity on the bid from the swing down here. And this is where we broke out from. This is where we see support. Sellers traded into it. So we're getting buyers coming out of it. We're looking for the swing up here and up here for the buyers to reach. And there's a quick, analysis of what we're currently seeing in here. Let's go over yesterday, though. Big day yesterday. Big red candle. As you can see during the webinar, we'll get to the webinar in just a minute. Yesterday, a little tricky. Timing was off for me, at least, during that webinar, but we had the right ideas. And I wanted to also comment with Rob about this on inside days. So the it turned to an outside day, and that's that happens. That's exactly what happens. How does it turn into an outside day? But this is what we want to understand is the volume it takes to turn it into an outside day. That's what we want to look for. When we do see that, and we know we're in a period here with the VIX being high, the volatility being high, we can anticipate some of those things. And when we see the confirmation in the trader activity in the auction, then we are looking for the continuation. Okay, we talked about continuation moves yesterday when we started the webinar. Okay, bigger picture stuff. Funny enough, if we look at the hourly or the 15-minute over here, even this daily here, actually, we traded down into these ranges here where we see a lot of buyers that came back into the market here. We still have some room to go here. There's still some fuel left in the tank to go lower. Are we looking for that today or during this session? Well, we'll keep an eye out, but I don't think so. I can see that buyers have come in already below the swing here. It retested and then rejected, at least for now. It is back in the previous day's range. Okay, so that's what we see so far. But let's go over the webinar yesterday. It is this 15-minute chart over here. This is where we gapped up and started the cash session, and we were looking for momentum move back down into the gap. And we saw like maybe a couple, some buying starting to come in. Then we kind of, boy, I had a limit order in there, and I didn't like the order book on the bid. It just cut right through it, and we had a nice move to the downside. And then we did fill that gap, and this is where we were anticipating the bounce. And this is all of this happened later. After the webinar. Here's 12:30. The webinar ended around 11:30 or so. So just right at this candle right here. And we were looking for that bounce, and we got in a little early on one. and then miss it on the other. But that's what we were looking for on this time frame. Okay, it was still an inside day at that time. All right, and so for this time frame that we were trading, we were not looking for that continuation at this moment. Right now, if that's the way that or the time that you are trading, we got to go with what the market gives us. Right, later the bigger opportunity unfolded for the move to the downside. Right, so that's important to acknowledge. That the timing and the time frame and when you are trading matters tremendously. Okay? A lot of times we see bounces in huge downtrends like this, for example, during the time that we are trading, and that's what the market gave us, and that's what we were reading in the order flow. All right, so if that's not working for you, then you need to sit and wait for the market to give you something better. And boy, it delivered yesterday. So anyway, I hope a lot of you guys grabbed it. Let's jump back into what we're seeing right now. Okay, so well, hold on a minute here. Let's go back into our 15-minute and our hourly and daily here. So we've traded down into these wicks. We're back inside the day here on the daily. That's that. It's rejected the low from yesterday. It went pretty nicely below it here, but we're back in it. Okay. On the hourly in here, we just see some wicks in here, and we're starting to see a little bit of buying. The first green candle so far. We don't know if this is going to main green or not. We do have a swing though here on the hourly up at 51.16. Okay, that would be this 13. I think yeah, right around in here, I guess. But I see a nicer one up here at 51.23. So yeah, I'm looking for these. See the buyers coming in on this 15-minute chart here. Let's just make this a little smaller. Looking for them to test up to this swing up here. Okay, so maybe around 14 or so, and looking for this continuation. So that leaves us back to where we left off before we looked at our bigger picture. We were looking for the potential move up into 105 and then 110. Okay, we got it. It's already, that move is already unfolded. All right, so we kind of missed that one, but we still have a little bit of fuel left in the tank here. We're still looking for this 12 area up here, or our 15 or 16 area. Okay, there's still momentum in this. All right, so we can still look for that move. Now we're going to look at the order flow for an opportunity in here. And I'm going to hold off for the moment here. We just traded into high liquidity up here. The momentum is good. Okay, and we just see some in here too. But the order book is not giving us much information here. We're going to wait for maybe a pullback and then more buyers to come back in. Okay, so the pullback is already unfolded. It's traded down to this little swing here. Well, to this area here where the buyers did come in. I'm still looking for one more push maybe here by the sellers into this area or into this area here at 104 and a half. All right, and then we're going to take a look. All right, now we're going to let's take a look in here. We're going to zoom in and we'll look for maybe a small scalp to begin with in here. Okay, again, this is not a trade recommendation nor trade following room in here. This is understanding order flow, and then we're going to look for potential opportunities to cover not only the criteria for the setup in the order flow, but then the trade management criteria as well. Okay, so let's see. So it's been a nice move down. Okay, starting to see some buyers come in. All right, now what I'm going to look for in here is, well, we're seeing a little bit in the order book here. That's good. But I'm looking for kind kind of a small little back and forth or distribution pattern in here first. Okay, so maybe it's a double bottom, maybe it's a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. Maybe it's something something else. Maybe it's through, kind of a descending wedge or something like that. But we're going to look for that. Now, why am I looking for that down here? Because I'm not looking for a pullback. I'm looking for buyers to enter down here. Okay, so the sellers came in and moved it lower. I want to see this back and forth in there, and I want to see buyers start to come back in. Okay, so here they come, right? Not bad. So let's see if we can maybe grab something in here, and then try to look for the continuation higher here. Okay, it's going away from us. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this here. Okay, because it just went away from us here, right? So and then I'm going to get in here. Now I'm getting in here only half a position or a third a position. Okay, another third is here. All right, so it would be 2/3 if I get filled here. I'm going to move my stop down a little bit more, and let's see if we can get some buyers in here, and then we're looking for the move back up into these areas here. All right. Okay, so we're looking for this change in the order flow. All right, now here they come, the buyers here, and I'm just going to take that. Oh, did I take that? There's a quick move here. Okay, yeah, okay, I got filled. That's weird. I'm getting these really small, weird delays in here. All right, and I'm flat. I'm gonna cancel this. I'm gonna cancel all for now. That was a quick scalp. All right, because I am looking for a pullback in here, and we'll cover this in here very quickly. It's really all the same things that we cover all the time. We can talk about a measured move, and the market gave us something very quick and easy here, and it was a measured move. And we have our target up here, our high liquidity here, or where the sellers came in here. Okay, so as soon as I saw that, this quick move, I know that it's a measured move or pretty close to it. I'm out. All right, so I was anticipating this kind of turnaround in here. It gave us something quickly. I'm out, and then that was good. It looks like this is actually starting to trend to the downside. This was not anticipated, in fact. Okay, so we're seeing the sellers come in below the swing in here. Okay, and let's see if we can. Boy, the sellers are really starting to come in. Right now, let's take a look at this in here quickly, though. Okay, this is also going to be another measured move here. Okay, nicely done in terms of measured move. Now, again, we're looking for support in here, and we're looking for trading it back through here. Not a pullback, but we're looking for distribution or accumulation in here. Anyway, this is kind of smaller picture stuff and scalping in here, right? But it could turn into a bigger move, right? Back up into our 15 or 16 or even higher 23 level that we were looking at earlier. Okay, we know there's a lot of buyers coming in, and this is looks more like a pullback right now. Let me get to the questions in here, and kind of jumped right in immediately. We didn't really finish our plan here, our outlook for the day, and going through our. We went through the fundamentals. We started to go through the technicals, looking at our daily and candle analysis in here, and previous swings we were going through, gaps and other technical areas like the POC, VWAP, if that's what you look at. Inside, outside day is another one, and we already covered that as well. All right, so now it's on to a really important part for the day, which is to develop scenarios, an outlook, where we think price may go. Okay, and we'll then look for the order flow in Bookmap to tell us that looks like that scenario is starting to unfold, and that's the direction that we want to go. All right, hope that makes sense to you guys. Let's and then we'll look for our criteria in the setups after that. Okay, after developing these scenarios, and then we'll go through our trade management once if we get into a position. All right. So the let's see here. Our setups. Okay, we're going to keep it really simple for our setups. Go to bookmap.com, go to education. Okay, and we're going to use different variations from strategies and setups here. All right, so continuation pattern and reversal pattern. Okay, these are the two setups we're going to be looking for. Maybe we'll find something else, but we're going to focus on these for now. Very, very simple setups. Okay, very profound though. A consolidation period, an impulse move with high volume on the buy side, a low volume pullback followed by another impulse move. Okay, understanding the continuation pattern or momentum. Doesn't have to be a flag. We're talking about momentum and continuation. Reversal pattern. We're looking for absorption. This turnaround, this order flow change
and bars
between
entering
here. The shift is what we're looking for, and how we start to see it kind of. These lower lows are not so significant anymore, and we're starting to see equal highs. We see a low volume pullback, a higher high, and then the shift will occur certainly here once we get the buyers start to come back in after the higher low here, right? And then we're looking for the break of the previous little range in here, and that's what we're talking about in here. When we're looking for distribution patterns, okay, on small time frames, high time frames, doesn't really matter. All right. Okay, so yeah, we see sellers continue to hit the bid into high liquidity down here, and we'll continue to look for these patterns. Let me see if there's any questions. We're in YouTube. No. Good morning, Alois. Okay. All right. So now, we covered that measured move in here. There's something to this. Okay, there's many reasons for a measured move and understanding it. It's really important. We talk about like so much volume pressure there is in the market, so much market breadth there is. There's stops, there's other traders, there's swings, there's profit takers. They all matter, and this is what and also high liquidity, like up in here, stopped this move. And you can see that our measured move is this move down here, not bad. We didn't get our distribution pattern or accumulation pattern that we're looking for, but this is where it started to slow down. Okay, we see it's gone a little bit lower in here. Well, let's see now if we get our buyers that start to come in. Okay, just an idea here, and let's look at our bigger picture now too. You can see that we're flirting with the outside day here. Okay, look at the 15-minute chart here. This is an engulfing, at this point, this is an engulfing candle. It doesn't matter what kind of candle it is, it's important to understand the order flow here. This is what makes up that engulfing pattern. Okay, so what we're looking for in here is it tested above the previous little price range in here, and there has been nothing but selling pressure in here so far, and we're below that price level now. Okay, so and are we seeing that pressure come in? Yeah, we are. Okay, so looking for the next swing or liquidity level at 89 and 87 here. Okay, let's look at the volume that makes up that engulfing candle in here. Okay, what does it look like in here? Well, to be honest, this is really valuable information here. It is. There's not a lot of selling in here. Okay, so we can look for some buyers to come back in now. Right, so you know, and if we go with just candlestick analysis in here, we see this big, you know, engulfing pattern, this big red bar here. You know, it looks pretty horrible. Well, if we look at this in here, there's quite a few more buyers in here in these areas, but they're way up here. But I do not see a lot of selling in here. The selling over here before, or I'm sorry, just after 9:30 is a lot more than the selling in here right now. Okay. Okay, that's a lot of selling there. That's going to be a stop run. Not much. Okay, so we can look for, I mean, boy, maybe we just see some scalping opportunities in here. But we'll start with a higher time frame, or kind of for just the session here. Okay, by looking at some of these, this market structure, okay, price channels, etc. Yeah, still more selling. Sellers should be able to drop it down to 87, and then maybe we can break the lows. But yeah, I'm kind of holding off in here. We still see sellers coming in, but we're at these at this lower level in here, and yeah, I'm just going to hold off on here. Any questions? Any questions over in Discord? Well, you can see some of the sellers starting to come in here, and this buying in here, I mean, maybe it's just covering, but we really need to see that those sellers come back in here, right? And I'm actually looking for them for this sweep lower into this liquidity in here. But you know, we're at our level in here that we're talking about, and kind of near this you know, the swing low for the day, and we're on low sell volume in here on this move to the downside. So you know, it's looking pretty trappy in my opinion. Although the trend is holding, we're still seeing more selling than buying within this trend, except for this cluster here. Okay. So there we go. There's our 87. Okay, Sai, I think that answers your question. This was the like the pattern that we saw yesterday as well. You know, we were looking for a nice little inverse head and shoulders. We didn't really get that. Instead, we got this kind of ascending wedge type of pattern, or kind of three hits to the low, and then the market just gets yanked away by the buyers. Remember how we were looking for it in here? We saw clusters, and it kind of covered it. We were looking for that in yesterday, somewhere around in here, and then we got stopped out on that one. But then we were looking for it again, and then just didn't see, and it's just like, okay, well, hold on a minute here. We don't quite see the pattern yet. We are looking for the buyers to come in, but the order book didn't tell us anything at that time, so we missed it. But that was unfortunate. But let's look for it again in here. All right. So now we've broken this small trend, but look at the structure here, though. Okay. So it's broken the small trend line here. There's a bigger one, and there's also the horizontal lines in here. Okay, we've tested this little swing here, but we have not broken this one here. Okay, so here come the buyers, and yeah, let's see if they can. Well, we're getting our answer. No. Okay. And here they come again. All right, so we'll just take a quick shot at this actually, and looking for only up to here though, only up to the swing. Okay, now there's a small measured move in here. Okay, now this is a scalp again. We're just not really seeing much, and we don't have much in the order book either. But we're starting to see the buyers in here, and it rejected off of here. So I'm looking for the test back up to here and this trend line. Okay, hope that makes sense. Again, guys, this is really, it's more about trade management than it is about the setup. Okay, so we're going to aggressively manage this. In fact, if I start to see sellers come in, which I do, then I'm just going to hit the button, okay, and I'm out. All right, because we have not broken the swing up here yet. Right, I'm looking for it. We saw the rejection here, and then I'm looking for it here. I see sellers come back in, and that's the way I'm going to manage it. All right, so I'm just looking for, it was kind of like a it's not really a flag pattern, but the buyers come in, it rejects here. We're starting to see buyers mount in here. I'm looking for that move higher. Okay, I didn't get it, I'm out. Okay, the market told me something different, so I'm just going to take the small loss on that one. Okay, we're at our levels now. We're below our level. We're at lows of the day in here. Okay, this should be a stop run. It is. Boy, we missed the opposite trade here. Okay, high liquidity down here filled 84. Also filled here 81. Okay, they're bidding up here 82. Just maybe this is it was like a quick scalp of an idea because of the rejection right here, and then just looking for the test to here. But it started to play out, and then you can see the exhaustion and the selling coming in. Let's take a look at our bigger picture here. Okay, so it is an outside day now. Okay, so we're going to look for momentum, and maybe we can come back down into these swings here. Okay, so this would be around 60 or so, 62, something like that. That's like 20 points away. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate the content. Yeah, guys, hit the like button, please. That always helps us. You know, one of the things in here, this is like yesterday, very much like yesterday. This is a different pattern altogether. It's this continuation of this trend in here. And then what we're looking for actually is it's not a pattern that we've covered. It's not a head and shoulder or that kind of reversal. It is more like it continues on down to the downside in here, and then you'll get this kind of catastrophic break, and then everybody's got to cover back up in here. So you get these really powerful moves on the buy side, and we're going to look for that. And that's what we were looking for yesterday, and also potentially here. But this was just a scalp, but there was the potential also in here for that move. Now we're going to start to notice it with the technical levels first. The previous swing and also these diagonal lines in here as well. You can see that we also are starting to flatten out a little bit in here, at least on that side, not on the downside though. These can be tricky to catch. So here, let me just outline it again. Let's just zoom out a little bit and give us some room here. This is kind of what we're looking for. The pen tool. All right. So this has done this, and maybe we'll get one more, but then we're looking for this, right? Something like that. Now it might even occur here. So the market sells off hard, and then like it just we don't get that reversal type of kind of rounded bottom or head and shoulders or whatever. We just find buyers come in and they move quickly. It happens in these during these volatile periods. At least I've noticed it happening during these volatile periods. And the swings can be really vicious on the way back. Good morning, Cater. Qatar, FA, I don't know, how do you you want to see DX feed? All right, you want to look at some stocks? Yeah, sure. I've got Meta, I've got Apple, we've got Microsoft, and we've got Amazon here as well, and Tesla. Okay, Tesla's starting to kind of turn around a little bit, as you can see. Let's just zoom out on all of these here. Okay, these have all gone to the upside. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Not Meta. How about Apple? Apple, certainly not. Okay, well, Apple's trading into this 170 level down here. Okay, now let's watch Apple really closely here. Actually, we know that Apple makes up like, oh God, I don't know what percentage of Apple and Microsoft make up like. Here, let's just bring it up here. Hold on a minute. FinViz. Okay. I mean, they're the biggest ones in here. Amazon getting there, Nvidia getting there now too. That's incredible. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what's the seventh? The Magnificent Seven. Anyway, you guys can see that these are the leaders in here. I guess Tesla is, right? This is what's dominating the market. So we want to be in tune to what's going on with these players here. This is Tesla here. Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious, like, to see this high liquidity filled on the bid, filled, looking for 170. There's 69,000 shares down here, 70,000 shares here. Looking for the transaction here, maybe a bit through, and then I'm looking for buyers then. Okay, the others are starting to also, show. Meta's been bullish. Okay, Microsoft is bullish. Amazon, it's a little mixed. Okay, Tesla's it's bouncing off of this area here, as you guys can already see. All right, so now let's look for something similar in the S&P. All right, so so if that's the case, and we're starting to see what we were kind of outlining here, still looking for a bit of a pullback in here. Now we might not get it, right? Might break right here and continue on up, and we miss it. Okay, so let's see if we get a rejection and a pullback here. Okay, we can look at other technical levels in here. Okay, maybe this is the new channel that we're looking for. I'm going to get rid of these channels in here because I don't want to confuse people with it. But these are just, it's a range that we're looking at in here. In fact, our trade management, we've talked about this, our trade management has been within these ranges. So in fact, you could, if you're bullish, you could be a buyer. In fact, let's do it. All right. So I'm going to maybe we'll get a little bit more move in here, but we're looking for a range, right? So, well, then if that is the case, then this is where we're looking for our range in here, right? Here and here. Okay, so we're filled. All right, now, again, we're not trying to call a top or a bottom or anything like that in here. We're looking at ranges. Okay, so this would be the top of that range in here. Well, maybe we want to be a seller in there. Maybe our limit is fine. Okay, or maybe we're looking for something bigger. Okay, so let's do this. Maybe let's do that. Let's look for a bigger move. Maybe it continues in this channel here. If that is the case, then we'll see what it looks like up in here. Maybe we see just massive amount of liquidity and it looks horrible right up in here around this 93 by our price channel. And that's where we'll just hit the flatten button. Okay, we'll get out. Or we'll maybe aggressively move our limit down and try to get it filled by limit. So now this is something I've been kind of, I'm really glad that this might turn into a loss, and that's fine. This concept, though, is really important to go over. Really important. Because right now, what we're talking about is trade management. And we're talking about a range in here. And we're getting an edge by using that in here, right? We're starting to understand that, well, you know, to look for some little technical level in here and go, aha, I found it, I nailed it, is so rare. It just doesn't work like that. It is sloppy. It is a range. And we can anticipate that. And our trade management can be revolving around that as well. Okay, so here's our move to the top of this range here. Okay, and you can see we traded into high liquidity up here. Some of it was pulled, some of it transacted, but we're seeing our buyers come in though too. Okay, so now is it going to go exponential, or do we see a lot of sellers come in? If I see a lot of sellers come in, maybe we'll just hit the button, and we'll take our profit and look for the next one. Or are you looking for this buying side move to continue? Well, then you can scale into it. Okay, maybe you scale into it in here someplace. Okay, bottom of the range in here. Any questions on this? Okay, because we're not going over a strategy. In fact, we're just going over trade management. So we're still within our range in here. Okay, we're very close to where we got in earlier. Okay, bottom of this range in here. Okay, now would it make sense to get in here? Not really. We're already in here. Why do we want to add? Now, don't. That's kind of a loaded question, to be honest, because a lot of times, like it doesn't make any sense in here if we don't see an opportunity. It makes tremendous sense to get in here again if we see opportunity. Okay, so in fact, here we're just getting filled again in here, and is going against us. Okay, right back down to the bottom of the range, or back down to this swing here. All right, so it broke the range now. All right, so yeah, we'll give it a chance here, but we're still looking for potential for buyers to take it back up here, but just down to here. Okay, if sellers come in here, we're out. We'll be taken out, and that's that. Okay, this is our support. We did break this range in here. We probably should have gotten out in here and then just called it, that's it for the trade. Okay, so again, we're coming back up to the top of this area. Maybe I'll take some off there and continue on in this position. Okay, basically, it's just retested the backside of our range. This is pretty bearish, to be honest. We're going to still give it a chance here, because we do see some buying coming in. Okay, buyers got to show up now. They have got to show up here. Okay, all right, so our first target hit. Now we got to get back into this range in here and come back up into the swing here. Okay, so we're going to manage this pretty aggressively now, and I'm going to move my stop just below the swing here. I hope this is making sense. Let me see if there's any questions on this. Stephen, Rob, any questions on this? It's a really important thing and I'm glad we kind of fell across on it here. I've been trying to articulate this and get this point across now for like over a week, that our trade management is really important part within our setup. And in this case, we're going through an example that's not within the setup. Okay, we're just going over trade management. Now, we're starting to see some selling come back in here again. Okay, so we'll give it a shot, but it's you know, we're going to kind of keep our finger on the flatten button here. Okay, so just looking at this kind of range in here, these buyers in here, basically this is the range. Okay. Hey, let's look at the order book. How's the order book helping us here? It's not really showing us too much at the moment. There's bids down here, there's offers up here, they're pulling here. Okay, but they're up here at 93.5, 94 and a half. And we're not getting too much insight. Just kind of bouncing around within this range here. Okay, so we don't have too much of a bullish range in here. In fact, it's starting to turn bearish. All right, let's hit the flatten button. Okay. And that's that. Okay. See our kind of outlook here. You know, we're giving it a shot within this range in here. But we're really not seeing it, not seeing the buyers that we're looking for. Okay, so we're out, and maybe we see some sellers come in and break this range here on size, and then we can go down to the bottom of the range on the higher time frame here. Okay. No, buyers coming right back in, still fighting it. Yeah, heat map settings, volume dots. Here's my heat map. Okay, it should be default more or less, but this is what I have. If you want to take a screenshot of that. Oh, vertical smoothing. This should be on auto. So I was demoing that. Sorry about that. Let's just go to default. All right, so this is the default Shark Blue. And I had it a little bit skewed here on the upper cutoff. That was about it. Let me see if there's any questions. Doesn't seem to be too many questions, so that's kind of odd. But let's see here. Devo, welcome. Yeah, let's take a look at Apple. I agree. I'm really curious. I think this is going to be kind of the look at that. Okay, so it cut right through 170, and it's still trending lower here. So it's just about to hit 169. Absolutely, this is supply and demand in here. You know, I mean, literally supply and demand. These are limit buy orders on the bid. And they came in just after 9:30. These guys in here came in at 9:42 or 9:43. This is demand. Okay, there's 47,000 shares here, 31,000 shares here at 69. The most is down here at 68 in this view, 53,000 shares down here that came in just after 9:30 as well. So they want to be buyers here. And we want to understand if they get filled. Okay, is that supply, meaning the market sell orders, are they hitting the demand in here? And then we want to see the reaction after that. No, I don't use candlestick charts. I just look at these three elements in Bookmap. These are the essential elements. There's all sorts of other add-ons and things that we can look at. We can look at cumulative volume delta very easily in here. Look at this. Look at cumulative volume delta, guys. This is pretty fascinating. We're going lower on higher volume in here. So we can even look at this in Apple as let's just take a look in here, and maybe we'll put some shares on as well. Okay, so now we're trending lower, and structurally here we're trading into this 69.30 level here. Okay, what if we break it? Okay, and we're looking for quite a bit of buying that has to come back in and trade into it and through it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we'll take a look at some opportunities in here, but we're going lower as cumulative volume delta is going higher. So it's a lot of divergence in here. And you might ask yourself, like, how is that possible? Well, it's just possible because of the liquidity. And you know, maybe it just doesn't take much for sellers to you know, take price lower. But and then buyers come back in. All right, so you know, we're really watching this one in here because this is it's traded into these levels here and through it, and continues on lower, but everything else is kind of turned around a little bit. Let's go back into it now. Everything's kind of flattened out now, just back and forth. How's NASDAQ doing? Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Look at the NQ in here. Boy, not too much to see in there right now. This is just really back and forth in here. All right, I have a lot of lines on here. Let's just clear them. But we're all those lines though, to simplify it, we're just talking about market structure. Okay, so for example, right now, this is our trading range right now. Okay, or on a higher time frame, it would be here. This would be our trading range. Okay, more like that maybe. Okay, so and then we can talk about trade management within these areas in here, and you know that you've got two things on your side. You've got market structure and trade management working for you. That might be enough, you know. Now we've got a lot more to look at here in Bookmap. We've got stops, we've got icebergs, we've got the play or context between liquidity and volume within that structure. Okay, that gives us a lot of insight. And for example, right in here, do you want to be a buyer in here? No. But what if we get back up above here and we see a lot of buying, like tremendous amount of buying, and we see a skewed order book? Yeah, well, you know, maybe because we know that these guys are going to be short. They're going to be buyers up in here, and there's our squeeze. Okay, so we can look for that. Okay? Now, we're at the top of the range in here. The book looks pretty good, actually. Let's just jump in. All right, so now, again, we're going to go through trade management, though. All right, so that's only like a third of a position, maybe even a quarter of a position. Okay, that's going to skew my not just profit and loss, it's going to skew my trade management in here because my positioning is all messed up then, right? If I'm looking for getting in with 1 or 2, and that's what I usually do, and now I'm using 4, well, that's going to screw things up. But we're going to go through the example, all right? And in this example here, well, we'd be looking for maybe a pullback here, okay? And we're looking for a short squeeze to the upside here. Our entry is horrible, and that's why we are only taking a feeler position here. It's not a full position. Okay, now if this is the range that we're looking at, then I kind of like our take profit up here at the top of this range here. Okay, we're gonna see a reaction up here as well, most likely, because we kind of broke a small range and we're back up to this little swing here. We know there's going to be some sellers in there. Okay, but we're still kind of hanging on this idea here in trade concept for a squeeze. Let's zoom out. Where might it go? Well, I still like it. We have a swing. I'm just above it. And there's kind of a technical level that we always look at here to retest that little zone up here. Okay. Now, that said, maybe we already tested up there once. We can get more buyers to test up here again. Maybe we can break it. Okay. Now there's going to be that's not a stop run, interestingly enough. All right. So actually, we're going to move this up. And we're going to put it up by the figure up here at 100. Okay. I like this as a technical level, to be honest, but you know, we're going to we're just going to move it up because that was a lot of buying in here. It's also a big iceberg in here, so we'll have to kind of monitor this here. Okay, some sellers coming in, bringing it back into the range. Okay, so again, you can kind of see the guys like maybe this was the range that we're interested in, and maybe we want to take some profit there. It's just a small scalp, right? If we see a lot of sellers come in, then that's maybe the idea that how we want to reduce some risk, or in this case, we don't have a choice. It was a third or a fourth of a position. That's all we got. Okay, so there's not much we can do. It's either hold or sell. Am I trading pure price action or volume? Well, we're trading. There's I don't know how to answer that. No, not really. But what we're trading in here is the auction, the structure, and the volume. Okay, the price action is equal to the structure. Okay, volume is volume. Volume within that structure looks like this here. Okay, volume dots and the price structure, and that's it. All right, so now we've come back up here and retested this swing, and we did break it. Okay, I'm going to move my stop up a little bit here, just below the swing here. I want to give it a little bit of room. It would be a small loss if it gets hit. All right, but in Bookmap here, we've got a lot more. And let's clear our drawings again. We've got a lot more to look at because we know where the liquidity is. We know how long they've been in there. When they added more, like when it got darker red in here, the scale of the heat map is up here, red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow, white, blue, and then black is the least amount. We have that other context, cater. So that's really important to understand. Is this context? We see how this liquidity in here, we see a big transaction, but it was actually an iceberg that absorbed a lot of that right there. Okay, it's a stop run too, but an iceberg is right there. Okay, so that's a lot deeper than just trading pure price action and volume. Okay, we know where we're trading the auction. Where are they bidding and offering? Okay, this is like in the dome. Okay, your dome, your order book that you're looking at. Here, let me bring up Dome Pro. We have Dome Pro for anyone that subscribes to the Bookmap Global Plus. Right, this is showing here liquidity. Okay, these numbers over here, these are the number of contract. Whoa, there's some volatility in there. What's going on in here? Something's off, or maybe it just needs to get caught up. Okay, that might be it. So are we at 50? Yeah, now it's caught up. Now we're at current price. Okay. So you're just looking at liquidity in here. You see transactions as well, because we're showing a lot more than your regular dome. But this part here is equal to the heat map here. The difference between the heat map and the dome is, see these numbers change all the time in here? Well, it's only for that instant. Okay, so in the heat map, we know when they came in, how long they've been in. See, we know this. Like here, as soon as this bottom was hit, look at this. You can't make this stuff up. So I like this idea even more now. Maybe I'll take my profit here, just in front of that liquidity. Why? Okay. Well, as these guys are getting filled down here, they're putting their target in here. This is where they want to get filled. Okay, in front of the figure here. Right? So that's my idea. Now I'm going off of that, and I need to look for that to it looks like I might have just gotten filled. Yep, I just got filled. Okay. But we're still looking for that to unfold. Right? This is how the heat map and the understanding the auction process, more than just price action and volume, this is how it can help you. You can put these pieces together. Lots of guys getting filled on the bid down here. Lots of traders. Typically, these are larger traders. And then up here, we see liquidity jump into the order book after they're filled. Okay, is that a coincidence? No, these guys are going to get filled. Right? So it's just a matter of time here. If they don't, and we see this all the time too, you know what their actions are going to be? They're going to drop their liquidity down to a lower level, and they're going to get filled. Okay, but they're hanging out in here. Watch, we'll probably get a spoof in the order book down here, meaning that we'll see high liquidity on the bid down in these areas in here. And maybe price will trade into it. Maybe it just gets scared. And then we see buyers come in and trade up to this 98 level here. Okay, so in fact, let's look for that. Okay, let me clear the drawings again, just so we can look for that potential spoof in here. And we don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if they can't get filled in here, we might see a spoof to get price up to 98. Okay, but maybe this is just a little bit of a slingshot right here. This is like slowdowns move below a swing, and then a move back into the range, into the top of the range here. Okay, so your Wyckoff spring here, a rejection, a stop run. It is a stop run, and then now we're looking for that move up into 98. Okay, and we could have scalped it as well. I decided just to stay out here. Guys, we're going through a lot of stuff. I really want to try to keep it simple. So let me know if this is too much, if it's too complex, if there's, you know, it should. We want a foundation. We want to build confidence. The setup is a huge part of that. Okay, and then you like this. Okay, the setup is a huge part of that. We need to have an edge. Okay, that's where we're coming up with this from the Learning Center in here. In fact, let me see if our it's still not working. I'm not sure That's too bad. Trading Journal is still down. Okay, so that's why I returned to this learning center in here, from our top-down approach. And here, actually, yeah, bring it back. Easier, this one. Yeah. Okay. That's why we're going through it in here. So go to bookmap.com and go to education, and then our strategies and setups here. Okay, we've got the continuation pattern, and don't worry about it being a flag pattern. Okay, it's about understanding the concept in here. If you understand these concepts in here, you can trade all sorts of variations of this idea, and you will own it. Is slowdown in here today? Oh, he's been kind of MIA. No, I don't see him. And oh no, there he is. I'm sorry. So you know, it was yes, doctor. You know, I was really astounded. I really sincerely mean this. During that competition, you have now digested these concepts and have done exactly what we're talking about in here. You've taken these concepts and understanding it's not so much about the name and the flag or this or that, but it's about the impulse move, the liquidity, and the pullback in here being shallow and on low volume. And then you've taken your three setups, and you're becoming a master at understanding all of these things and all the different variations in them, because you understand the volume, the price structure, and the order flow. And it is just heartwarming to see a reversal pattern. Your reversal pattern is awesome. I mean, it's the same concepts in here. That is trading into high liquidity. We start to see pockets of buyers. We start to see more buyers, and then we see higher liquidity at a higher level in here. We make a higher low, then on a low volume pullback in here, and then you see a lot of buyers come in over here, start to move it back up. You start to understand those concepts in here, you will own all the variations of it. And I think you can just stop there. I mean, that should be enough. You'll start to understand all of these things in here. Some of the things that we're looking at and covering, and even this we got a little tripped up yesterday, talking about this kind of this move in here, where it just we didn't even get a pullback. It just did a V, and it just shot up right out of there. So after hitting hard, and then now look at that liquidity. Okay, it has traded. Okay, those guys got what they wanted over here. Right now, if we stuck with our idea, and God, we still have a limit order in here. That's bad. That's a bad habit. So we'll cover that in just a second here. But you start to understand some of these concepts in the order flow, and it can be used for anything, not just engulfing pattern. You want to look at an engulfing pattern, fine. You want to look at market profile or volume profile, fine. Just make sure you understand these elements within it, and you've got it. Okay, it is now. Nothing is guaranteed, but it is more likely to unfold that way because you understand the participants behind it all. Okay, it's like riding the train in reverse. In the seat that's looking back. You're looking back here at all of this in here, and understanding that, wow, we're going through an area that's wooded and foresty, and now we're starting to see that it's grasslands on the train. Maybe you start to see a lot less trees, and you start to see like it's going to be flat. Most likely, or maybe some rolling hills. Maybe you're even looking for a transition into a desert area. But you can start to understand it. What I'm trying to get at in here, bad analogy, trying to get at is you start to understand some of this behavior in here behind us, then you can start to project forward where it might go. Okay, because they're telling us in here something. Now they may get upended, or something might happen in the market, and everything gets upended. Okay, but these are the this is order flow. This is supply and demand. This is price action. This is trading liquidity. Okay, and this works on all time frames. I am convinced of it. Okay, now I'll move on to another subject in here, but bad habit, really bad. We got our target got hit here. I have a limit order still in here. Okay, so hit the flatten button, or hit cancel all here. Okay, I hit the flatten button. I hit them both just to make sure. You don't want to have open orders. Okay, this can really mess up your account. Okay, and that's just an error, and we can do better than that. We can manage better than that. Right? Just be attentive of your orders. Thanks for the kind words. Does the order flow support the pattern? Absolutely. And if it doesn't, you're not interested in it, right? Like Apple. Let's take a look here. Are we starting to see a turnaround in here? Well, we got a little one, and it is starting to flatten out, though. Okay, so it went from this to this. Okay, and when 169 here, high liquidity. And now we don't know yet. We don't see the price structure broken yet. Okay, but we can look for, does this order flow? And I know what you're not asking a question. Slow down. It is a question that you are asking yourself all the time. Does the order flow support the pattern? Exactly. Right. So here on Apple, yeah, we're looking for the order flow to support the pattern. Okay, so don't see it yet, but we're looking at it. We're looking for it. Okay, so here we go into 69 here, 43,000 shares. Okay, 49,000 shares down at 68.5, and then 68 we have 62,000 shares. Now we haven't looked at any higher time frames. I haven't looked at the daily, etc. Right? So I don't have that in front of me. I just have today's price action. Okay, but yeah, I'm looking for kind of the overall market and some of these other stocks to give us insight to put the potential for a move in Apple. Question is in here, do you want to be? This is the dog here, right now. We might get a powerful move in Apple. We might, but we might get a more powerful move in something like Meta because it's more bullish in here. Right? But just to make the point in here, this is what we're looking for in Apple. Right? If we start to see the turnaround in Apple, and maybe some of the other stocks as well, boy, this NASDAQ should be on fire. All right, guys, here come those buyers again. Okay, back up to the top of the range and looking good, looking for 5,100 here. We could scalp it, but I'm going to hold off. It's a couple of points. But yeah, I'm looking for it. I mean, this is pretty strong move, right? So we can look for it. And look again. There's something else. So we see this move all the time, and I think this is a great strategy actually to take a look at. This traded up into the high liquidity we were looking for, and it traded back down all the way to the bottom of the range in here. A lot of times you were looking for maybe a flag pattern or breakout. It fails. It comes all the way back down, even maybe breaks the other side of the range, but then that fails and comes back in the range, and you see hand over fist buying. Those are really, really nice moves back up to not only the swing, but to the liquidity you were looking for earlier. Okay, so that's exactly what it just did in here. I don't think we would have been filled. Yeah, we wouldn't have been filled most likely, but it did it. That's why we front run by a tick or two. All right. Okay, well, let's take a look at our trading statistics for the day, and why we're going to do this in here, because I don't really like this. I mean, we went through a lot of, again, it's not about the P&L in here. We went through, we know that it really would have messed things up if we had 4 contracts on and it went against us. We'd been down $1,000 or something like that pretty quickly, right? But instead, we were covering this concept of like, we're looking for that squeeze, and we're talking about trading in ranges in here. So again, it's not about the P&L, right? Because there will be days like that in here, no doubt about it. But we're going over some pretty good stuff. I think it's helpful for you guys, like that we go over the trade management in here as well. Again, it's not about the P&L, right? But what I want to cover in here is the trading statistics, right? Because I don't think we had a loser, and I actually kind of don't like that, because this gives us, like, we see like a good oh no, I'm sorry, we did have one loser here. All right, so that's not so bad. This is the running P&L, and this is our P&L on each trade. Okay, this just doesn't make it realistic. When you have a good day, you're thinking, oh yeah, great, I had a great day, like, but it's not likely you're going to have all winners. You're going to have winners and losers all day long. You can't always have a winner. So it's about the trade management and the risk management. Anyway, guys, a lot of considerations here. One of the things that I think I'm glad we kind of went over was being able to get to this point that I finally was able to kind of articulate about it being a range, and you're trading kind of within that area. You're looking for a very specific area for it to break. I mean, this is a beautiful little double bottom in here, in fact. There's a potential setup in here, right? But anyway, the concept though is that the market is sloppy. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. So how do we take advantage of that? Through trade management and scaling in and scaling out, if we have that potential. Or if you don't, then put your stops in areas where your risk is okay. If you're trading like a 1 mini, then and you got in someplace in here or up in here, like kind of like we did over here, that this is actually top of the range. So And it's just one. Well, this is, you probably wouldn't do that then. You'd probably just have to miss this. Okay, but if you're trading multiple and you're trading micros, you can get in maybe 2, 3, put 2, 3 here or 2, 3 down here, and then your stop would be down below. Okay, so you would, cushion the blow, and you would be trading the range, and you'd basically, by doing that, you're making your probabilities higher, okay, of getting something out of the market. Let's see, that's gorgeous. Let's see the stair-stepping pattern in the order flow. Yeah, it's yeah, some nice stuff, robbed. And let's see, what is my strategy? Well, we went over that. We talked about looking for these two continuation and reversal strategies, and from the Learning Center in here. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we did trade 5,100 finally. It took a little while. This is pretty typical. Let's take a look at the bigger picture in here and start to kind of understand what's going on. It's 11:30. It's the European close, and we have some news later, or we have Powell talking. The market's going to react to that, or you can anticipate that, and that's around, it looks like he begins around 1:15. Okay, so that's going to be the catalyst or the event to take a look at, right? Because right now we're talking about just technical levels and kind of some slop back and forth in the bigger picture. Okay, here, let's just take a look at it. It's here. You can see it in the daily. You can see a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we're still trending down here, but I mean, clearly we're still in a downtrend, but the slop is kind of in this, kind of big range in here, and this big candle here, this big engulfing candle in here, didn't tell us much. In fact, it told us that we're looking for potential longs in here due to the low volume on that on this candle. That should not be the case. This is such a sell signal here, but we didn't see the volume behind it. In fact, we saw a lot of liquidity getting filled down below it in this area in here. So it made sense what we were looking for that long at that time. All right, so we'll see if we're going to hack around in this zone between maybe 51, 12, 13 and 85 or something like that. All right, let me see if there's any last questions in here. Guys, yeah, hit the like button. That would be really helpful for us. And let's see any more questions over YouTube. Okay. Tesla, any ideas? Well, we kind of missed that one. That would have been kind of hard to judge, I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, we see some pretty nice buying in here. This move in here, selling on the way up. We're looking at kind of the overall. Here's a bit of a transition from selling to buying. The buying is not too convincing, so 158 might be, maybe that's it. Maybe it can trade higher, but we got to see a lot of buying come in to try to make it into the higher liquidity up in some of these levels here. All right, that's my take on that. Apple still kind of hacking around in here, and can I touch on the orders? 43K, yeah, they're just here. You can see it. This is the current order book. This is like our dome and Bookmap. And the numerical values in the histogram in here shows you the amount of liquidity. We can look at it per price level here. It kind of aggregated it together when we zoomed vertically, as you can see. So this is what it will do. You know, if we zoom right in there, we can see that you know, 46,000 right there at 69. Okay, see how we zoom vertically and it kind of shows this kind of zone in here, right? So that's the liquidity. And how long have these guys been in? Well, they've been in since 9:30, and then before that they were in here as well. Okay, looks like 7 a.m. Quite a bit came in. Okay, they were in even before that though. Okay, so this is going to be in a pretty important level. Hope that answers your question. One last look. All right, well, yeah, just kind of hacking around in here. All right, guys, well, thanks for coming. Tomorrow, Jay Trader, Thursday, Scott Pulcini, and then we'll be back on Friday. All right, yep. Thanks for coming. Hit the like button and leave a comment or two. Let us know you know, how you feel about some of this education, or if you have any questions, and subscribe to the channel. All right, thanks guys, take care. We'll see you on well, back at the All Markets webinar on Friday. Okay, bye bye.